asked, how can it be longer? The last year it was just an evening. We started at around there was a lot of demand to make it a longer event, and that's how we came up with the functions. And we are going to create this one ready. You know, those who even have those pens that write, because you're going to jot a few things.
His philosophy. He believes in key to soaring high lies not in chasing success, peace to pressure. He is a journey of a masterclass of reinvention. He is here to unpack what truly takes to build a life that's one of Kenya's most respected voices of leadership, the CEO of Jubilee Holdings PLC, Dr. Julius Kipngetich, Chief of the Order of the Burning Spear. Let's appreciate him with a warm round of applause. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Monica, and thank you, MC, for your warm welcome. It's always a great pleasure to talk to men. And I know Monica and Priyanka are around, but I want them to block their ears. So leo tutaongea ya kiume. Yes, we are here really to discuss men and what we need to do to provide leadership to society. For a long time, the women have been telling us we have shrunk. And I'm telling you with authority because I sit on the board of Women on Boards. There are only 2 men, me and another guy. And so I listen a lot to women and what they discuss. And there are great challenges. Then the other thing is we want to reorient our men in a different direction. For a long time, we have been following the Western model. But the Western model, kuna shida, which is, if we follow the West, the statistic that needs to stick in your mind is 50% of their marriages collapse within the first 5 years. And Kenya are already there. So those of you from Nairobi, you are already there. Now, something very interesting is India. India has the lowest divorce rate. Who can guess? America is at 50. Okay, there are some countries which are, I think Spain is at 80, 87. So if you marry a Spaniard, ladies, or men, if you marry a Spaniard, you have a probability of 9 out of 10, you will be divorced. India is 1%. And remember, Uko, marriages are arranged. So should we have arranged marriages? Sindio? This thing that you meet a girl out there and then you tell her, I love you. Like, we are in a very difficult situation, Sindio? And so when we have a candid conversation like we're having today, and I just have just a few slides, a candid conversation, I will throw some challenge. There are around 5, 6 slides, but just we are throwing a challenge to the men. Okay? Then those of you who profess Christianity, the Bible actually commands you to lead the home. But somehow, some of you have abdicated leadership and you shrunk. Sitting on Women on Boards, there are 2 major complaints that women always complain about men. 2. The first one is that you guys fear educated women. Kweli? Sema kweli. Fear educated women. More so if they are more educated than you. Shrink. So it's like So how many of you have a woman more educated than you, earning more than you, and you are happy? Weka mkono juu. Weka mkono juu. Only one. The rest must be divorced already. Guys, the Bible says we must provide leadership. Sindio? Please don't shrink. You must soar high. The pressure is the challenge. We want you to have that challenge. Okay, so if you look at this image, that is you. You are a product of mom and dad. Agreed? You are also a product of 4 grandparents. 4 people. You are also a product of how many great-grandparents? 8. So therefore, life is a relay. One person is a product of so many people. I recently read a book by Francis Okello. He's the chairman of Serena. And he has been a famous lawyer. And he wrote a book called The Concert of Life. And in that book, he was able to trace his parents up to 1680. How many of you can trace people backwards up to 1680 to Anzi Apple? 1680? 1700? 1750? 1800? 1900? 1902. The rest, no trace. 2000. So guys, you are a product of so many generations, and one generation should not let down the other one. If you go to UK, the royal family have been in power for how many years? The current king, Prince Charles, the King Charles. That family has ruled UK for how long? 1,000 years. Now, if a family can rule a whole country, and remember, at the height of the British Empire, they were colonizing 48 countries. One family. Now, if a family can do that and colonize 48 countries, sasa we mwanaume, unashindwa na nyumba moja. Haki ya Mungu. Nyumba moja tu. So therefore, please just take note. You are a product of so many people. Don't let them down. Then the next one is a video. Okay, it's called the greatest race on earth. The 4x100 meters world record at the London Olympics. Just listen to it. 36.84 seconds. There's a story behind it. Sauti, weka sauti. How many of you saw it live? 2012. 1, 2. The rest? I'm sure you are watching Arsenal at the time. Poor guys. There's no sauti. Anyway, you can follow from the lyrics. Okay? Also, I'm sure there are some people who have not even watched it. It's called the greatest race on earth, the 4x100, and they did it in 36.84 seconds. Okay? Hakuna sauti? Okay, it has begun. Just watch. Okay. I'm sure you'll remember, Senator, as I talk about it. Now, for you, life is a relay. You have seen your great-grandparents, all the rest. It's a relay. Now, those of you who remember it, who ran the fastest leg for the Jamaicans, because they are the ones who won it? It was not Usain Bolt. I wish you had. Which was the third one. And he ran it at 8 seconds. So sometimes, the most obvious people don't do the things that you think. So therefore, God given you this life, it is your leg. Are you going to be a Johan Blake or an Usain Bolt or a Safa Powell? The Americans, the second guy, Justin Gatlin, was the fastest. And the commentator, if you had listened, I wish you could have listened to, we had the sound. The second leg for the Americans was the fastest. And the commentator was saying, this is the American race. So there are people in your life who will be making comments and this is not your time. But at the back of your mind, you know it is your time. Because internally, you know it is only you who knows your life. I want you today to reflect and say, I am here, 2025. I am being inspired by so many speakers here today, and that these speakers are cheering you on to be the best you can, so that when you hand over the baton to your children, to your grandchildren, they will play their part of the leg and do their part. God has given us one of the greatest countries on earth. For example, there are only 2 countries on this planet which has hold the climate of the world together. Only 2. Okay, one of them is Kenya. The other one is? There are only 2. So when you go to church on Sunday, tomorrow, please don't ask God for more. Because God has given Kenya everything. The other country is Ecuador. It's only 2 countries. So we have been given the best country. It's only us. And why men? Is because God has mandated you to provide leadership. So when you go home today, way we motivate people in the office is also the same way you motivate people at home. Provide leadership at the workplace and provide leadership at home. Then you'll be a great man. For me, I do the same. I try. Okay? When I was in high school, we were given an address by somebody who went to an Ivy League school. I even didn't know what Ivy League was. We came later on to learn in life what it was. Then, an idea just formed in my mind. and I said, I may not go there myself, but either my children or my grandchildren will do. What do you think has happened? My daughter was in Yale. You see, when you have a resolve. Now, from there, she did so well, she got a scholarship to go to Oxford. Now, when you have a resolve, kama umeamini, kama mwanaume, kuna matokeo mazuri. So therefore, we are here to cheer you. Power the other side. Okay, so let's now go to, now that the power is giving us a challenge. Okay. These guys, are we okay? Tuko sawa? MC? Okay. Okay, so let's go just to slide number 1. So don't worry guys, just relax. Even at home kuna shida kidogo, si ndio? Okay. So let me just begin by saying, don't worry, I used to be a teacher, so an untrained one for that matter. You know, when somebody is a lecturer at the university, you are untrained. Okay, so the first message I wanted to give you today is men leadership begins with self-mastery. You must master yourself. You must know yourself. Okay? Even when you are relating to other people, it begins with self. How many of you can say, without any shadow of doubt, that you know yourself? You know yourself very well. Your strengths, weaknesses, yeah, internally, and without any shame. And you are able to communicate to your spouse, to your children, to your friends, who you are. Friends can only help those who express who they are. We normally give women, as men, a lot of negative connotation to their discussions. We call it gossip. That gossip is women saying, this is who I am, to their friends. And in case there is any problem, they are able to provide support. The greatest challenge men have is they never express themselves because they feel if they share, it is a weakness. It is not a weakness. If you share, it is a mark of you understand yourself, and please understand me also. So men, msikufe kiume. There is no reward for dying. You are gone forever. Please let us share, but only those who master themselves share. We must share. So keep it in mind, sharing. It would be nice if it showed on the screen, but it's okay. The second one is clarity of purpose. Clear in your mind. Now, there is one question that any human being finds difficult, literally impossible to answer, which is, why are you on this planet? Who can answer that? Why are you on this planet? Our species, the Homo sapiens, have been in this planet for only 200,000 years. 200,000. There were other species before us, but we evolved. So the Homo sapiens have been here for 200,000. Of those, the current stock is 8.4 billion. How many previously have been around here? You have an idea? How many human beings of our species have passed through this planet? Any idea? 107 billion. That's the current estimate. The current stock is 8.4. Now, who can figure out why were 107 billion people passing through here? And of the 8.4, you are one of them. What's their purpose? And the earth is the only place so far we know that harbors life. There is nowhere else, to our current knowledge, that life exists somewhere else. We don't know. So therefore, why were you born? Do you have an idea? And the day your last day on this planet, you might ask yourself, if you meet St. Peter, you'll say, so what was that about? So guys, I'm here to improve your clarity. Not to give you an answer, I don't have an answer, but to improve your clarity. You are here for a short period of time. 70 years or 80 years is nothing. In the larger scheme of things, 70 years seems like 1 second. So you are born, you pass through this planet, and you go. Where you go, I don't know. Okay? There are theories of what happens after. But nobody has proven it. Those who believe in faith, that's okay. There's no harm. But we don't know. Nobody has proven. But, please, to improve your clarity of why you are here, my suggestion is just say, I want to be 2 things. Just 2 things. To be happy and free. So how many can qualify today and say, me, I can say without any shadow of doubt, I am happy and free? How many? There are instruments to test that. Eh? So don't make a declaration. Okay? So everybody, just reflect on it. One measure of success on this planet is that you are happy and you are free. When you're in the workplace, there's a lot of HR things that happen, isn't it? Okay? People like Tom Shiva will do all sorts of things. The challenge is at home. There is no HR officer. How do you make sure you are happy and free at home? So that then that clarifies a lot of your purpose. Why are you here? That you went through this planet and you are happy and you are free. If that helps you clarify your purpose, the better. Senor? Okay? Number 3. Be financially intelligent. Financial intelligence. Now, most of you have heard me speak about dead assets. Senor? And I'm sure there are a lot of dead assets owned in this room because you are Kenyans. One, muna to plot, maguta. They don't earn any interest. Okay? And you pray to God, there's a capital appreciation. Now, the basics of life in financial intelligence is separate your lifestyle from your income. Let me repeat. Separate your lifestyle from your income. What it means is income can go up and down depending on how financial markets behave. Sindio? But since we have said you have to want to be happy and free, so your lifestyle must be increasing happiness and freedom. Increased happiness and freedom. That's your lifestyle. So, when your lifestyle should be better off today than it was yesterday, and then you keep going. In fact, your last day on this planet should be your happiest day, because it was happier than it was the previous day. That is your lifestyle. But your income can go up and down, up and down. So therefore, you need to be financially intelligent. Now, a typical Kenyan, their lifestyle follows their income. Now, let me give you an example of a community which recently came to Kenya. The Chinese. The Chinese have made a fortune in this country. They are the ones who construct any major highway, any major building. In fact, they even come to smaller buildings. They have mastered infrastructure. In my life in Kenya, and it's not short, I have never met one single Chinese that drives a Range Rover. How come? They are billionaires in Kenya shilling terms, some of you are probably dollar terms, but they never show their wealth. If it was you as rich as them, tungejua hii towns, ndio? We would have known you in this town. Because you will most likely have a chopper sitting at Wilson. I wish the rules could be amended so that you can park it in your house. But the aviation rules don't allow it. If you are a billionaire, Kenyan billionaire, you'll probably have a private jet. And most likely a police escort. Who bewitched us? So therefore, guys, we must be financially intelligent. Sindio? Now, under Vision 2030, the request to every Kenyan was to save 30% of their income. How many of you are saving 30%? 30%? Hey, not bad. Around a quarter. So, Monica, these are your savers. We need to know them. Now the rest? The rest? Now the highest savers in the world, as these are the same guys I was been talking about, the Chinese. The average Chinese saves 55% of income. And even this country that we admire, that Kenyans now are being told we want to be like. Which one is that? Who are Singaporeans? They are Chinese. Now the ones in China mainland save 55. The ones in Singapore, their savings rate is 53%. So therefore, guys, if we want to hand over the right baton to the next generation, we must begin saving. So that then, okay, we give them a culture of production, use the money to produce, and so therefore the next generation will be better than us. Lifestyle. So lifestyle must be constant and continuously go up and up and up. We don't want your great-great-grandchildren to say, we had a great-great-grandfather who was Masiwalala. If they find you in heaven, they will do a petition. I was like, sasa wewe, you wasted our life. Wewe ulikuwa mlevi. Yeah? A reckless spender. Look at where we are today. You had the money, but you are a reckless spender. So please, guys, if you want a successful family, just like you want a successful organization, organization is profitability, at the family unit is the same thing. We want successful families, but it begins with how you manage finances. Who is the CFO of the family? Squeeze na kina mama, si ndio? They are the ones who do the budgeting. They are the ones who constrain you and say, hata haki ya Mungu, leo usiende kulewa. Because they know, hiyo ni 5,000 imeenda. Financial intelligence. Very important. The next one is relationships. In the workplace, they are very good. We teach you all the things, you know, team building. You have been having team building here the whole afternoon. Uko nyumbani, do you have team building? At home, do you have team building? What is the quality of relationship at home relative to the office? Because in the office, you are given skills all the time, retooling, reskilling. Even at home, the same thing must happen. Reskilling with the core family, your wife, your children, and then your relatives. The biggest challenge to men today is something at the household level is something called black tax. Black tax. What does it mean? Your extended family. It's not your core family. Your core family cannot be black tax. It's you are investing in them. Okay, you have your father and mother. Okay, then you have your siblings, then your cousins, your nephews, and the circle continues. It is the biggest drain on our savings today. Other than Zakaria taking that money. And number 2. Because the net tax is around 45%. You spend almost an equal amount on your relatives. Now it's time for a hard talk. Okay? And tell everybody in that lineage we talk about, take care of yourself. The Chinese have done it. Every relative must stand on their feet. So similarly, even us, we must tell our relatives, stand on your feet. So that then your savings can improve, so that then you make the next generation, make the necessary investments for the next generation. So make sure that your relationships are strong, they are meaningful, but not exploitative. Be careful about exploitative relationships. Remember, and I know Safaricom guys are here, you have to forgive me what I'm going to say next. The success of M-Pesa is because of inequality. An inequality coupled by generous people. So Kenyans are the second most generous people in the world after Indonesians. But there, M-Pesa doesn't work because they don't have inequality. So you guys are generous and there's inequality, so you give. So how much moves within M-Pesa in a year? Safaricom guys, 40 what trillion? I don't know even. It's around 30 trillion. Kenya shillings, movement. But it's because of your generosity. It's not a bad thing. You might get a place in heaven out of it. Yeah? So Safaricom is making you go to heaven. However, look at the risk you face to the next generation. So invest in meaningful relationships at home and in the office, and make sure that you don't become overgenerous so that you then kill the next generation. Next is our women. We must understand them. I know there are a few here. Please don't worry. This is a men's forum, and we will say it because we are men. How many of you have read a book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus? One. Good. The rest? Two. Now, biologically, men and women are different. And God made it deliberately so. It was deliberate. So that it gives you a challenge to understand each other. Now, many people, especially pastors, when you go for marriage counseling, okay, you are told to be very tight together. Because the Bible commands you to be one. Biologically, you are not the same. So please understand women. Now, let's begin with the men, us. How are we made? We were made to think very logically and in a very, very mechanistic way. That's us. So, sometimes you're at home and it's like, can't you see the logic? Then the woman looks at you and is like, she's approaching you with the way God made them, which is emotional. So instead of now appreciating her, it's like, okay, my dear, what did you say? The men will be like, me, I'm watching Arsenal. Can't you see? That alone flips her. And it's like, you don't love her. You see how small things can flip. So therefore, my message to you today is, please read more about how women think. If you want peace at home, if we want the divorce rate of India, 1%, please let's understand women more. So don't shrink. Instead, provide leadership so high and say, can we be more emotionally connected? Because I know that is where you are coming from. The other thing about women is that God made them to be more patient and resilient than men. They are more patient, they are more resilient. So therefore, the greatest support in times of problems is always your wife. That's the way they were made. And so therefore, don't seek refuge in alcohol, in drugs, because right in front of you at home, God gave you somebody to absorb that pressure. And they were designed that way. So please share your problems with your spouse. They were designed that way. In the same way that in the corporate workplace, you are told, if kama kuna shida, enda kwa HR. And most HR are women. Kanashiva are very rare. It is deliberately done that way because women understand men very well. That is your refuge. Understand women. Together with that, okay? Now probably just before, there's one thing, small thing. What is it that women detest of men? They are very simple things. Okay? And I'll only speak of one, because I know there are other panelists. One challenge that women go through is men who are not grooming, and etiquette. Now, some of these things are a function of which school you went to. I know some of you went to bush schools. This is the nature of life. Okay? Not all of us can go to an alliance, isn't you? I'm not one of them, so don't look at me as an ex-alliance. However, women pay a lot of attention to grooming. So since you are urbanites, most of you, you need to be frequenting a salon. And there are some words you need to be familiar with. What manicure and pedicure is. Mnaelewa hiyo? Yeah? Senior. And groom yourself. And then, women want to be treated like ladies. Okay? So how many of you opened the door for your wife? Mr. Kazero. Wisdom. Please, guys, let us improve our grooming and etiquette because women take it seriously. They take it seriously. Okay? If you are going for a date, please make sure you groom yourself. Like a deodorant, roll on. Make sure you brush your teeth. Okay? Suckle some mint. Okay? Groom yourself. The day by the dinner, it's finished. You have won. Women are very simple. Please understand them. I know Monica is listening. Feel like clapping, huh? Then, my second last message is something new for most of you, unless I taught you at the university. And this comes from the gender systems theory. How many of you, anybody who has gone through a class of gender systems theory? I used to teach it at the university, so if you didn't pass through my hands, then Paul. The gender systems theory. Okay? So it is called the principle of decoupling. To decouple. It's the opposite of couple. The opposite of coupling is to decouple. Now, let me give you from a business point of view so that then we discuss from a relationship point of view. The principle of decoupling in the corporate world is, okay, the principle says, in the short run, a subsystem of a larger system must be given some freedom to deal with its own temporary circumstance. Let me repeat it. A subsystem of a system is given freedom in the short run so that it can deal with its own unique circumstance or temporary circumstances for a shorter period. So, for example, in an organization, safety stock. So, we allow the people in the stores to keep some safety stock as raw materials for the factory just in the event that supply lines are cut because of a storm or some riot. Safety stock is a cost to the company, but we actually allow it to happen because of that temporary possible shock. Now, in a relationship, what does decoupling mean? If you couple too much, the end result is that the conversations in the family will shrink. Because how would you generate new conversations if most of the time or all the time you are together? You must interact with other subsystems or other systems in society so that when you meet, you are enriching the conversation. So, if you go to many families and relationships, there's been too much coupling to the point of there is no way of generating new conversations. So, this is my recommendation, therefore. When you are in a relationship, especially a marriage, never have a joint account. That's too much decoupling. That's too much coupling. You see, if for example, you run a joint account, and so therefore your wife knows that you are in Karen, na umekunya kamoja. And then you will also be seeing her transactions. She went and bought, I don't know, some lingerie at 100 pounds. And then when she comes home, it's like, things nobody sees, only me sees, and you buy it at 100 pounds. Guys, that's too much coupling. My advice to ladies, and I say this openly, don't couple too much. And that is why the principle of decoupling is allow each other space to breathe. Remember, originally you are separate human beings and you still are. Now this goes against what pastors tell you, Proverbs 31. The Proverbs 31 woman is told to, what was the Proverbs 31 woman told? In marriage counseling, you are also told the same thing. You must share everything with each other. From the general systems theory, any system which is fully open will be eaten by the environment. Nataka kukulewa? I'm telling you from science, the general systems theory. So guys, remember this. And this now is the slide of the day. The principle of decoupling. You must decouple. Give each other breathing space to do your own things. You can have joint investments, there's no harm. But this thing of joint account, wacha hiyo kabisa. I know Monica is looking at me like, hey, hiyo ni sumu. Okay? And finally, you must grow. Remember what I said. Your lifestyle must gradually go up. And your last day on this planet must be the happiest. So therefore, at every stage in life, you must always say, how will I grow? How will I grow? Okay? You must grow income. So that we have agreed. Sindio? You must grow income. But not through dead assets. That one is a no-no. Most of you have assets which are not generating any income. So, asset management by people like Abacab is a good platform. They give you at 13, 14, whatever. But most of you have assets which don't generate any. Now, some of you have houses in the village. How many have houses in the village? I'm not one of them. Now, how many times do you go to that house in a year? So you are putting up a house of 10 million or 20 million shillings kutisha watu. Sasa unatisha villagers. Na wewe ulienda shule. If you put that money, 20 million in Avacap, how much do you generate in 1 year? Monica? If you put 20 million in January. Don't be shy, speak up. 25%. So 20 million, at the end of the year, you'll have earned what? 5 million shillings. The house of 20 million in the village at the end of the year, it will have taken money from you, isn't it? Who stays in that house? Houseboy. Who calls when there is a leakage? Houseboy. So who is the houseboy? It's you, the owner of the house. Because he stays in your bedroom, and when you say, I'm coming this weekend, anapanguza, and then he goes to the servant's quarter. He entertains his girlfriend on your own bed. Guys, be rational. I thought we said men are logical and mechanical. So, financial intelligence is being logical and mechanical. Calculation, the maths. So therefore, learning and growth. You must continuously learn. However, the biggest investment as part of learning and growth, the biggest investment is on your core family. Please educate your children and don't see it as an expense. See it as your number one investment. Number one. Okay? Now, number 1B, I didn't want to say number 2. Number 1B, please educate your wife. Even if she is more learned than you, don't worry, educate her. So you have invested in your family, they will grow. They will grow in their careers, okay? And you will age graceful with somebody who is educated. And remember, when the children are gone, the conversation with your spouse will be more and more intellectual. Can you imagine if you have somebody in your house with less intellect? If that happens, there's a very high chance you will get a second wife. There's no more intellectual challenge at home. So, please, everything is you grow, and you grow up to the last day. Finally, because God gave you one single life and you want to go to heaven, is there anybody who doesn't want to go to heaven? Wherever that is, but everybody wants. Please be a person of good character. It doesn't cost you anything. Be a person of good character. Be a man of honor. Be a man who can be relied on. And your children will harvest that good character for generations. If you look at all these royal families, why did their families rule? They imposed their character on you. So therefore, I want you, the men in this room, your families to rule this society. To be the best. And you can only be the best if you have a strong character base. I wish you well. I wish you success as men. I want us to look at this particular seminar as the beginning. And I hope, Avocab, you are going to be inviting these men because learning is continuous. We can say something today. My assumption is probably the critical mass. Probably around 30 to 50 will get it. Now the other 150, itaingia hapa, itoke hapa, and you need a second and a third lesson. So therefore, mine is to wish you well, and we are saying, wanaume, waende juu, not to shrink. Be strong. Thank you very much. Asante.
How do I mean, balance that?
Thanks. So, when people are starting, they are starting with very low salaries. All of us started there. I remember my first job when I worked for Barclays Bank in 1991. My salary was 5,000 shillings. Okay, probably it was a lot at the time, but I started with you, like you. But one thing I promised myself is I'm not going to eat all of it. So I adjusted my life. I didn't drive a car. I was using a matatu, and I was living in Buruburu in a house, and we were 3 of us. So each of us was occupying a bedroom. So all of us started there. So don't panic and say, these people are talking about big things, and so I'll take a shortcut. Please don't take a shortcut. Everybody starts there, but it is your level of ambition that's important. What I promised myself was, by the time I am 35, I will be a millionaire. That was clarity of purpose. I was very clear. Okay? And so therefore, I was just 24. So in 11 years, I said I must get there. So it drove now the savings culture, but it also added something more, which was, what else can I do beyond the job? So what did I used to do? In the evening, I used to teach SCCA and CPA students in Strathmore. So I'm sure I have so many products in this city. So, and that used to give me more money. I used to get 17,000 shillings because I had so many classes. So every evening, I used to take a matatu to Strathmore and teach evening students. And I got 17,000. Barclays paid me 5. So what do you do on your free time? That's the question. Remember, everyone has 24 hours. There's nobody who was given more. 24 hours. How are you using your 24 hours? That's the challenge. Thank you.
We can maybe just allow for one final question. One final question in the interest of time. Gentleman at the back, your hand came up first.
Yes, thank you. My name is Henry. Just a question on the aspect of decoupling. You'll find at times that, of course, from Monday to Friday, you go to work, at times you go for meetings and then come back home. But then on the weekend, since it's your free time, you want to meet with your friends, your family, go back home late. So it becomes an issue, like it's you're asked by your wife, there's no one time we spend time together. How can you balance that to avoid such conversations? Because of course when you go out there you are engaging other people, getting new ideas, at least so that when you come back home you have something to talk about. Thank you.
Excellent. Now, let's go back to the same story of 24 hours. Everybody has 24 hours. 8 of it is recommended for sleep. So that goes. 8 is in the workplace. That goes. So 16 hours is gone. So you now have another 8. And that's it. How you use that 8 is very important. Now, a lot of you have friends who are useless. And I'll repeat. A lot of you have friends who are useless. Please have quality friends. Quality friends, you don't meet them that often. And in any case, I've told you, your most important investment is your children and your spouse. That's the most important. So the fact that you give priority to your friends over your family, you're in a makosa. Family comes first. Me at my age, I'm 60. At my age, I arrive in my house at 8. Every day. Every day. And even the event, which is probably not more than 10 days in a year, I arrive in my house after 8, but I tell them in advance. I have a function, I will arrive late. And in my house, there's a rule. If it reaches 9, okay, the maid goes to sleep. That's her time. She has done a bit. The food is put in the oven, and kila mtu anajitetea. So if I reach my house today, and it's after 9, food is there, I serve myself, I go and sleep. Now, that story of saying that, I cannot eat the food of a maid, what was the use of outsourcing? See, you outsource in the office. Shida nini? So, please rearrange, okay? For me, there is only one couple that are closest to us, and those are our friends. And we have been together for the last 30 years. Those are the closest. And even those close friends, our conversations never go beyond 8 in the evening. Everybody goes to their family. So a lot of you are investing wrongly. Football should be watched with your children, not with your friends in the pub. Okay? You can go to the pub once in a while if there is a match like tomorrow. Sindio? Chelsea, Arsenal, maybe. I can allow you, but it's only 2 hours. After that, unaenda nyumbani, sio? Now, this thing of drinking up to 3 a.m., that's not quality life. That's very poor quality life. So therefore, please, you have 16 hours is already tied up. You have only 8 hours. First priority is to your family. Quality time. And then your friends, especially the marginal ones. Okay, the ones you want to go and watch football, those are marginal friends. Okay, those ones you give them maximum 2 hours in a month. Finish. They are marginal. Okay, and in any case, what does the conversation entail? What does that conversation entail? Most likely about a politician. Raila has died, so gone. So you will say Ruto did this, Raila did this. Is that really meaningful conversation? If you come and talk about finance in my office, you'll probably take 15 minutes. We are finished. We have done what brought us together. And then now we start discussing Kenya's politics. Why? Nothing. You just exhaust your breath for nothing. It never changes. So therefore, please, quality time. And it's so little. And remember, you have only, okay, the average age here is 35? 35. So you have another 35 years roughly on average to go. So it's not much time. So please reorganize your time. The future is so short and there's so much to do. So that then you leave a mark and you hand over to the next generation. You never know. Your next person in line could be a Usain Bolt. So fanya bidii, because you are denying that Usain Bolt. So do all this multitasking, all these things. Me, I do so many things. On this planet, I do very many things. And I'm very proud. Because my 24 hours is packed. But I still have 8 hours of sleep. Me, I'm very jealous about my sleep. I have 8. So I don't go for useless relationship. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Julius Kipng'etich. Ngetich, before you leave the stage, we have a token of appreciation. I'd like to call Wilson Wariari. He's the Chief Investment Officer at Avocap, and also Monica Moneki to come, the CEO of Avocap, to come and give a token of appreciation to our keynote speaker. And I believe there's also a token of appreciation from EABL to present it to our keynote speaker as a token of appreciation for his fantastic presentation. All right, delegates on the floor, one more time, a round of applause. Thank you for that. Thank you. Oh, EABL. Okay. Dr. Kipngetich, this is for... All right, makofi tafadhali one more time. Thank you so much, Wilson. Thank you, EABL. Thank you, Monica, Dr. Kipngetich. We appreciate you. That token of appreciation from EABL is for decoupling. All right, and if there's one thing that I have noted, it is that, and it will not leave me anytime soon, and we definitely appreciate you. I'm confident even the Almasi winner, who is going to get the fully funded Almasi account of 100,000, is going to make sure that that account remains in your name, all right, in the spirit of decoupling. But thank you so much, Dr. Kipngetich. Always a pleasure, and we appreciate the wisdom nuggets that you've been able to share. It was quite an honor. Delegates, one more time, let's appreciate him with a warm round of applause. Thank you for that. Asante sana. All right. Just want to give you a reminder to the gents here that we have also a token of appreciation for all the gentlemen here that is going to be done at the very tail end of the program. So make sure that you keep in tabs with us. So we'll make sure that we can do that. And we just want to just take a short break and not leave here, but we want to invite the saxophonist to come and just give us a presentation for a few minutes as we get ready to get into the first panel discussion. Our moderators and our panelists are already here, so we want to make sure that we can be able to give them ample time to engage with us. So now I want to hand it over to the saxophonist. You can be able to come and take stage just for a few minutes, and then we can be able to get into the panel discussion. Let's appreciate him as he comes forward. Thank you very much. Karibu sana. Glad to have you.
Hi guys. How you doing? Kwa majina, my name is George. Kwa social media, you'll find me as Jaramba Sax. I hope ntawabamba, and I hope you enjoy. All right?
Thank you. Let's appreciate Jaramba Sax with a warm round of applause. All right, thank you very much. I just want to notify you that once again we are going to announce the ultimate winner for the fully funded Al Masi account of 100,000 Kenya shillings. That is going to be done at the very end of the program. So one of you is going to walk out 100,000 Kenya shillings richer. And also we have giveaways that we are going to be doing for the raffle tickets. And we have a token of appreciation for all the gentlemen that are here. But even as we proceed, gentlemen, I know we want to make sure that even this engagement is a bit fun, and I know that the bar is open. But gentlemen, please, if you'd be so kind just to rise to your feet. Let's all rise to our feet. Let's all rise to our feet, seated for quite a while. And then just make sure you can be able to push your seat under the table so that you can be able to get some good space. Put your seat under the table. Under the table. Now I want us to all face forward. All face forward. All right. So all face forward. Have some good space in there. All right. Now what I want us to do, just stretch out your hands forward. We are soaring higher. This is the train. And I want you to move your hands like this. It's like you're just getting on that ride. All right. For the few ladies who are here, not like this, Safaricom. Safaricom, it's like this. Safaricom. Okay, it's like this. And then for the ladies who are here, you can just slightly move your waist slightly. All right, Slightly. To the side, to the side. And then I want you to do this. At the count of 3, 2, 1, we shall go 1, 2, 3, and then we shall clap to that side. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Then I want you to push it up like this. 1, 2, take it down. 1, 2, decoupling. 1, 2, your own account. 1, single bank account. Oh man, that was such a gospel. Down. All right, and then the other thing that we're gonna do, gentlemen and ladies, do you know that feeling when you get that funded account of Almasi, of 100,000, it gives a tingling sensation, isn't it? So you'll put your hands up like this, wiggle your fingers, and then put it down, up, down, then you shake your head. Oh, it's like you just got that money transaction, up and down. Like you just got that M-Pesa, down and up and down. To the gentlemen, we say this in Avocap that this is best done with music. DJ, give us that song. Put your hands there. Stretch it out. Now just start cruising with it. Body goes with the hands. Go with the music. Nice. To the side. Make sure that your facial expression is okay because we are taking photos in here. All right. There you go. Nice. And 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Going home at 8 o'clock. Meeting your football friends twice a month. Go take it down. Do the coupling. And making sure that you respect the woman in the house, all right? She is your HR, all right? Put your hands up, down, up, down, up, and down, up, and down. As you wiggle your head a little bit, nice. Up, and down, up, and down, up, and down. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wellness and soaring higher as men. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, DJ. Please give a high five to the gentleman who is standing next to you and tell them this is my side hustle, right? I dance a bit. This is my side hustle. All right, we may have our seats. We want to give like some 2 winners before we get into the panel discussion. I don't know if we have our golden bowl right here with us. Okay, it's here. Is it the one? All right, fantastic. Leta tusiogope. Wanaume ni wengi hapa usijali. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh, this one is, you want to put it in? I don't know if Wilson is still here. Wilson is not here. Oh, Wilson, yes, please. Wilson, you'll come and, you okay? All right. You'll come and just pick 2 of them without looking. We'll just look at the gentleman here on the floor. You will pick 2 tickets, and these are going to be our first 2 winners, all right, for the night, all right? Gentlemen, are you ready? All right, go for it, Wilson. Go for it. All right, the first winner.
The first winner is Eston Maina.
Eston Maina, copy. He has his entire cheering squad there. Eston, come forward and stand with us on stage. All right, just stand there. Let's pick the next winner. Wilson, just pick the next winner.
Brian Sequoia.
Brian, where are you? Brian Sequoia. Makofi tafadhali ya Brian. All right, so let's have the token of appreciation. I hear one is from Legendary Barbecue, Captain's Barbecue, the ones who've been able to do the eat all you can meat the entire day. So we have, this is the first token of appreciation to the first gentleman. All right, with the lovely smiles as we look at the media team, and then the gentlemen, let's appreciate them with a warm round of applause. Congratulations. You might probably be eating meat for the next 1 year, all right? And then the next token of appreciation is from Denry. Denry, one of our partners. A duffel bag on behalf of Denry. Makofi tafadhali. Congratulations, congratulations. Thank you, Wilson. We totally appreciate you. All right, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the point in the program where we want to make sure that this conversation becomes as intentional as possible, and we want to go to the first panel discussion. What I will be doing is I will be able to invite the moderator who is going to now guide us and take us through the rest of the program. So, gentlemen, please help me appreciate a man that we love and appreciate. He is a director, and we have seen him on the screens for quite a number of times, and he's been doing this for the last 2 decades. He is seasoned, he is an entrepreneur par excellence and a strategist extraordinaire. We know him as Phil Director, but formerly, ladies and gentlemen, he is known as Philip Karanja. Please help me appreciate Philip Karanja as he comes forward. Man who has been in the media space, and someone that we appreciate, especially when it comes to this particular conversation. Welcome, Phil. You can be able to take over from there as you invite your panelists.
Check, check. Perfect. All right. Good evening. Mko salama? Ladies and hey, wait. For the first time, I am not allowed to say ladies and gentlemen. Today, it's just gentlemen. Ladies, if you're here, today it's our day. So today we shine, okay? Please allow us. It's our day, Cindy. Yes. So gentlemen, how are you today? Good? Yeah? Awesome. I've been told I don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to jump right into it. Our conversation on this first panel is about the cost of the hustle. And I think as men, that is something we hold dear to our heart. And we have an amazing panel. And the first guest I'm going to introduce on stage is a distinguished advocate of the judiciary of Kenya, Mr. Dunstan Omari. Karibu sana. Please, a round of applause as he walks up. Asante sana, thank you. Looking sharp. Humor me, Bwana Wakili. Just stand over here, tafadhali. Just face the audience. Now, gentlemen. Yes, thank you. Gentlemen, this is one position you never want to find yourself. Mr. Dunstan Omari standing in front of you giving a briefing to the media because you are in a lot of trouble. But you'll be in safe hands. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Which one do you want me to sit? This one?
Yes.
Thank you.
Right there. Next on stage, I would love to call Mr. Kilan Shah, shareholder, Scope Markets. Karibu sana, thank you so much.
The conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
Thank you for that, DJ. Have a seat. Thank you so much. All right. And finally, I would also love to call on stage Mr. Bhavesh Shah, the Managing Director, Economic Industries Limited.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, karibu sana. And finally, allow the ladies to sit at the center. But today, the men are taking center stage. The next panelist is Men's Day. Next on stage is Nancy Kihara, clinical psychologist, my Africa consult. All right, so we'll get started. My stage manager, maybe we can remove the podium. Yes, thank you. Gentlemen and ladies, mko salama, thank you so much for being here this evening. We are eager to learn from you. And I'm just going to start from just one question to all of you, a minute each. What does soaring high mean for you? Mr. Omari.
I didn't get that one.
Soaring high. Soaring high is today's theme. Yeah, so what does it mean to you personally when you think about your life?
It means self-actualization.
Okay.
Means arriving at your destination.
I think our keynote speaker actually took a lot of words out of my mouth, but.
All right, Mr. Bhavesh.
Hi. I think for me it is.
For me, it is when you notice that the door you thought was always locked, wasn't, left, and never looked back.
Wow, very deep. Thank you. Thank you for the clap as well. Rest of the hustle, and I'll start with you, Mr. Omari. You are a well-known gentleman in our community, and your work, you get to shoulder. You're at the center of high pressure. You're always at the center of high-profile criminal cases. Every file on your desk is someone's crisis, someone's fight for freedom or survival. Yeah. What has shouldering other people's darkest moments cost you personally, emotionally, mentally, or in your relationships?
Well, I'll admit that I handle one of the most controversial matters in this country.
Yeah.
Because at the time I'm called, some of you have seen me on TV at midnight at the police stations.
Yeah.
It is quite very, very emotive. The level of adrenaline in the body is quite high. So the questions that come in, what will be the costs on my health, on my mental alertness, on my family, on my friendship, and everything? First thing, I've no personal contact or personal inclination into my clients. I disassociate myself from them completely. I do not carry their problems in my heart. I carry their problems in my legal intellect, which only occupies 1% of my mind. My life is completely different from my client's mind. Number two, many of us have not learned that art of disengaging. The doctors see very many guys die. They do not really care so much, because if you carry those sorrows in your heart, then you become one of them. Number two, the future of the men who are in this room is about how do we disengage from non-issues? How do you avoid carrying what is not really necessary? The lady and the only man seated next to us on the right-hand side in white is here to tell us our mental health. Are we going to enrich the doctors because we are not able to carry the professional job as it is supposed to be done? Are we going to be those zombies that are walking, but they are dressed well, but they are not straight because they have mental health. To the men, Karanja,
Yeah.
my message is simple, very simple. Do that what you can do. Don't do that what you think you can do. Because what you think you can do can hurt you seriously.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Kilansha, you work in a high-stakes industry. What has ambition cost you personally?
That's a hard question. I think there's a lot of men here who may have watched Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I can tell you life in this industry, and bearing in mind that I've spent 22 years in this industry in London. Family time, so time.
Yeah.
Time is one thing that has cost me. Emotional balance is another thing. So I'll explain. So the last 24 months, I've spent 12 months outside my family home.
Oof.
Guys, you need to understand the effect that has on a family. It's not difficult. It's very, very difficult. It's not easy to understand. And this has been my life for over 20 years. I have traveled more than I've spent time at home. Luckily, I did manage to spend the first 10 years of my son's life with him. That is the one decision I had taken. So the cost of ambition is not seeing your son grow up or your daughter grow up. It's also the fact that you don't utilize, so you are all the time trying to fix problems. A lot of my staff that sit here sometimes here today, and I know one's laughing over there. I am their next port of call when a problem can't get resolved because I'm the one resolving it. So I'm spending all my time resolving issues, figuring out the risks that we've got, so on and so forth. So much so that you actually tend to forget every other aspect of your own life. Looking after your health, looking after your family, making sure your son's having, going to his golf lesson, as I was mentioning to one of our friends there. You miss all these things. So the cost is very, very high for ambition.
Wow. Mr. Bhavesh, you've led turnarounds, massive operations, and transformation agendas. What does that kind of pressure do to a man, physically, emotionally, family?
Thanks, Phil. I think it's, as in the course of business and growing through turnarounds or leadership and shaking up organizations, there's a lot you put on yourselves. And that pressure sometimes, it's hard to say in words, but I can say like what a recent thing that happened to me about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And we were in a series of discussions and negotiations. And I took it on to myself so closely that I felt my body had gone stiff. And it had become like almost like a piece of wood that even to walk, I felt like, I was like my calf would be hurting or something else would be hurting. And I'd taken on so much pressure and so much stress that, it felt like, why am I taking on this much? And up till then, I'd never seen stress take on my body. But that's the point when when sometimes you hear people have taken on a lot of stress, and I always took it quite lightly. But when I really felt it like that the whole body had become stiff, and that stiffness did not go out of the body for another 2 to 3 days. And then obviously, previously I've taken up practices of yoga as a daily practice in the morning. And just as a part of the leadership, sometimes when you're in the leadership position running a business from the top, you're always going through challenges, whether it's small or big. And sometimes it feels so lonely up there that you tend to always blame yourself for any inefficiencies within the team. And then again, obviously, it's hitting back. So I always say that, you know, as you grow through yourself, through the business, you should invest some time into helping yourself also relax as well as de-stress by using tools such as yoga. And there's a tool that I use called Inner Engineering, which is a 21-minute practice in the morning that I do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy, now, me a conundrum, and maybe you can help us. As you've heard, unfortunately, the society we live in, the real value of men is what they can bring to the table. So the only thing we know as men is ambition. And you can clearly hear from the panel, and I'm sure for all the men seated here, ambition takes its toll on us. I think you're better with figures and the figures, but I think the suicide rate in men is 6 times higher than women. So we can see what ambition does to us and what, but sasa tufanye nini yaki? Mwanaume ni effort. Sasa, because if I stay at home to spend time with you guys, then the business is not running. If I'm at the business, taking care of the business so that I support you guys, then I'm losing you as a family.
Thank you very much, and you're accurate on the figures, because even in the statistics that are done locally, if you look where you're seated, if you're 4 of you, one is likely to be having a common mental health condition, which is either depression or anxiety if you're not doing substances or alcohol.
Just hesabu to 1, 2, 3, 4. We you know, we are 4, so yeah, we have to figure out between the 4 gentlemen here.
So with that statistics, there's a problem. And ordinarily, when you look also in the landscape where there is businesses, men, because of their risk-taking nature, you're always there on the top. And yet you have families that are depending on you, women who are just wondering, by the way, what was my role here? Because I never get to see this man on every other day. But now what happens is that when it comes to women, they're expecting, and something that the Daktari has talked about, they're expecting you to rationalize, to express the feelings and say how you feel. Men are logical. They think. It's about giving solutions. Sometimes that is not what they're looking for. They want to be heard. So the same way Daktari said, because it's like he said that earlier already, it's about understanding where they're coming from. Are you able to get a balance? Shah has said a very good part where he said, I dedicated my first 10 years to be present. So sometimes there's a cost to it where you have to find where is your balance and communicate with your family. Sometimes don't let them guess that they understand, oh, you have them in mind. Let them know on these particular days I won't be there. Don't be the person who says, oops, I'm at the airport, I'm gone. And then you don't even tell them how long. There are those, sometimes you're working late, you don't communicate, you're coming home. Again, your family is stressed up. They're wondering, where is your papa at? So when conflict starts at home, they'll find you in the office. Now, you will not have a good balance, and that is where the problem of downfall begins.
So balance.
Yes.
Hey, well, easier said than done. Mr. Kilansha, as a man operating at your level, what do you think breaks down in men? You know, men with ambition. What breaks first? Is it integrity? Is it discipline? Is it emotional? Because, you know, Nancy is talking about balance, but you know that thing is tricky.
There's actually a chain to those 3 words.
Okay, let's go.
So we start with emotional balance.
Mm-hmm.
So what is actually emotional balance? It's the fact that you're dedicating so much time at work or solving other issues that you forget that you've got a whole life that you need to look after. You need to look after yourself, your family, so on and so forth. And I always start that conversation, you need to look after yourself. Most men don't look after themselves.
That is true.
So emotional balance goes first. I think the next one is, what were the 3 ones? So it was integrity, emotional balance, and
discipline.
Discipline. That's the second one that goes. And that's the one where most men do not realize. They somehow feel that they're very disciplined because we keep getting told that we are very logical, methodical people, so we always keep following things. The problem is sometimes you're following the wrong path. So discipline goes. And soon after discipline going, integrity goes, because now you've lost your way and you're trying to find a solution to try and get back on track. And sometimes you're willing to take not the right path. And I'll say it very lightly, that you're not taking the right path to get back to your railway track, which I suppose most salespeople will understand what the railway track is. You try and make sure you do the sale. And the sale is along a railway track and the client tries to put you off. Life is the same sort of thought process. So for me, it goes, emotional balance goes first, discipline goes second, and then finally integrity goes, and that's when you hit your low. And the likelihood is, we all hear about bad stories, especially in the financial services market. It happens once a year, somebody's done something wrong somewhere. That's when the integrity part goes, and you're now trying to get yourself back onto the straight and narrow, but you've done it the wrong way, and you get caught out. So I think that's kind of my thought process on that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Omari, this next question is actually very personal to me as well, because your work has made you a public figure.
Yeah.
So you're no longer just an advocate practicing privately. So your losses and victories are dissected in the public scope. Now, for all of us seated here and all the men here, you work hard, your ambition, you chase the ambition, and at some point you find yourself in a space where you're regarded highly by the public or by the community. But people expect us to always have the right answer. But sometimes we don't have the answer. And, for me, I'm always that balance of between private and public, because you're just a man. And sometimes things don't go your way. And sometimes you don't have the answers. And sometimes you're breaking down as a man, but you're in a very public space. How do you handle that?
Well, all men are supposed to be successful. The men who have been womanized have now the concept of emotions. No man was born with emotions.
Okay.
They have been womanized to start seeing things from an emotional point of view. And that is why they have lost the game. 2, those who are born to provide have no time to listen to busybodies who are giving you pressure, who are criticizing you. It is called the political aspect of thinking. Have you ever seen a politician worried about what you have said about him or about her? She moves on. The men that we have who are committing suicide, the men that we have who are succumbing to a vocabulary that was not supposed to be there for men, called stress or frustration. Those are hiccups. You do not stop because you have slept. You wake up and proceed. That is the dynamic man. So, my personal life, it is a lolly road of failures and a train full of success. That is the character of a man. You must continuously be failing. If you fail once, you must succeed 10 times more. That is the philosophy. 2, I'm now talking to men who are below 30, 35 years old. My senior, who is my age mate, Daktari, said so much about families. The concept of family, I do much of divorce proceedings and family law. The concept of family has changed from what it was, where it was a wife or wives and children and grandchildren, to a person who is complete as a set, a man is a family, alone without children or without knee. The concept of dead property. Land is a very big question for our age. I'm at 61. I'll be so worried about land. My children who are your age mates don't care about land. They don't care about cows. They don't care about what you are worried about. The Japanese model is an aged population that have no children. The Gen Z concept of a man is a holistic person with a laptop or with a phone, with a car and an apartment to work. That's all. And a bottle of Muzinga. That is the new concept of the family that we are looking on, where everybody is asking, why are you not married? When are you getting married? Why are you not bringing a husband? Why are you not bringing a wife? The generational transformation is so fast. My good brothers here are gurus in the business sector. The business model that was there of Kodak, of Fuji, is not the business model that we are seeing Safaricom have. So let us understand this. Business cannot change and be digital, but we expect our men to be the way the old telecom was. Once we accept that way, we are also accepting that the life expectancy of Raila Odinga at 80, the Gen Z will not reach there. The occupational hazards and educational hazards and labor hazards and financial hazards they face, the life expectancy is very clear from the height. If you look, my age mates, our height is about 5.6. If you look at them, the girls are tiny. You don't know whether they are Chinese. The boys are tiny. Whether it's the climatic condition of ozone, we really have got to remodel the new man out of this conference. The new man out of this conference has different challenges. The new man talked there. He earns what he cannot. Is the money going to save him or he saves the money? That is the discussion, a practical discussion of the new man that we have. A man who knows no father but knows the mother, because that is a man born by a mother. That is a man who marries inside the compound of his mother. That is the man who works for Safaricom as a senior manager at 40, but he has never moved away from the compound of his mother. That is the new man that we are talking about. How do we change the mindset of that man? How do we move away from the traditional narration of about us, but to them? For the for those who are employers like us, the people coming to be employed, the people applying for those jobs have a new work ethic, which is contrary to the Employment Act. What the Employment Act calls gross insubordination or gross misconduct, to them, that is their mode of operation. That is what they see to be normal. Biblically, what has been accepted by many, that's the voice of God. Right. So if the new people are the majority, how do we create a narrative that we listen to them? We listen to them. Are we pushing so hard our value system? Article 10 talks of the value systems. Article 10 of the Constitution, governance principles. They are so rigid to the young generation. Are we going to have all of them commit suicide? My position is, my job is very, very demanding. It's a public job. Anybody who will want to be my wife or my girlfriend must accept that reality, that when you are working with a public figure, you will also be a public figure. That is what I've accepted, and I've got to live like that. My children have lived with that. My family has accepted that, and I've accepted that.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Omari. So many threads to pull from that powerful conversation. Okay, yeah. Wow. So one of the things is, before we leave here, we need to figure out the new definition of the modern man, because we cannot use the same definitions of a man from years before. So so guys, we have homework. Before we leave here, we need a new definition for men. Something else you said at the beginning of your answer, and I'd want Nancy to jump in. Men are not supposed to be emotional. We are not supposed to feel. Hey, please, tusaidie hapo.
Now, let me jump into the neuroscience of man's brain, how it's supposed to work or how it works.
Okay.
Is that in the brain we have two parts. We have the cognitive area and we have the limbic. Now, the limbic is where the emotions are stored. So, as women, we tap onto that part, the limbic system. Now, for men, because of social conditioning, they are taught from a very early age, man it up, don't cry, men don't do this. So any disuse to a certain part of your body, what happens to it? It shrinks because you're no longer using it. So when you grow, having been conditioned to this, as you grow, you use less of your emotions and more of your logical thinking. Now, when that gets reversed, in a society like ours, where we are always trained how to do things, it becomes very confusing, especially when you put two generations, the generation that is on this side, and I heard you say you have under 35 majority. Now, where we have brought them in a very different setup, because previously, who were teaching the men how to be men? We had a structure within the society. Currently, we no longer have that structure, because even your uncles talk to the sons, and daughters were talked to by the aunties. I don't remember my aunt having the same happening. So ideally, that is what happens. And the conflict sometimes you see is because we need to keep re-educating ourselves, even as a two gender differences, that men will never be able to tap into the emotional part fully. All right? But they will need to be made to understand that once in a while, sit and listen. When you listen, you get to understand what is being said, and you don't have to, you will not respond with the feelings, but you need to now look like you are closer. Dr. Ari said that initially, and there's something that he told you to, as a understanding what we are saying doesn't mean you're losing the masculinity, but where now it is transitions is where now the challenge. Yeah, the social conditioning is what is changing with the many changes that we are seeing in the society.
Don't you think, however, by society conditioning, and like you've spoken about neuroscience, the fact that we try and limit our feelings is why we end up with very explosive outbursts by men, and this is in the form of gender-based violence, for example, because as men, at some point you're going to be pushed to the corner and you need to tap into that emotion, but we've never done that. So we are very emotionally, our emotional intelligence is very low.
Your EI is not low per se, no, because what happens is that the fact that you're not tapping onto your feelings doesn't necessarily mean that you are not expressing yourself the feelings that you should. The question becomes, do you know where to do that? Before I came here, I spoke to my dad. He's 84 years, and I asked him, if I'm asked some of these questions, what would you think? And I asked him, Dad, where do you used to go in your ears? Where would you? And he told me, we used to go to drinking dens, the bars. And this is where, as men, they get to talk and they share. So it has always been there. The question is the modern man. The feelings are there. Every person has feelings. The question becomes, where are our safe spaces? Do we know where they are? Because if we do know, if we know the right people to go to, then therefore we're able to express those feelings. Because where I sit, I listen to men who understand they need to look for help. But most of the time they'll be like, I don't even know where to start. And it is okay.
Mr. Bhavesh, just on what Nancy has just said, men don't know where to start. And, you know, in your work, discipline and clarity are everything. But where do corporate structures unintentionally drain men of both? Because, I mean, it's a machine. At the end of the day, as a man, you're supposed to come in, perform, get the job done. But sometimes when I come in, I'm not at 100.
I think before we look at corporate structure, I'd like to look at something else, right?
Yeah.
The moment you don't have a good night's sleep, what happens to you in the next day? How is your performance in the next day? Do you feel like you're on top of the world and able to perform and beat the world? Or do you feel that you want to take some rest, or you want to take a light day? And it comes back to that, right?
Yeah.
That I'm talking of sleep because we can relate to it. Everyone can relate to it here. That when we've had a bad, tough sleep, our day is not going well. So in corporate structures, what are we looking at? Mostly, you know, today we're judging everyone with performance,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
However, everyone rises due to performance and obviously relations with each other, right? And how someone is able to drive that corporate engine would be the key reason why we would be voting for someone to raise up the ranks or someone to fall below the ranks, right?
Yeah.
Now, that is on performance. Now, what is the impact of that driving of performance? I think at some point it's not only men, but also women. People get isolated in this strive to achieve
Yes.
the best performance. Because as a business, you're also competing with the next business. So it's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
Yes, yes.
And if you're not the top dog, you're not going to be able to perform.
That's true.
So the question is, how can you work on yourself to be able to become that top performance? At some point, I agree with you that, you know, if you don't work on yourself and are not able to keep or maintain your emotions in a way that gives you or drives that top performance, how will you show up out there tomorrow? So it is very important, you know, that I think sometimes also we have a difference in age group here as well, right?
Yes, yes.
And we may have difference in thought across the ages. But men are men, end of the day, you know. Those days, there were the old drinking dens. We have the modern day bars that we all go to these days to relieve some of the stress that we have. But sometimes we just need a close group of friends, 2 or 3 of them, that sometimes we can have a whiskey and share and release some of that stress.
Absolutely. I am a fan of some particular videos I come across the internet, and this is to you, Mr. Kilan Shah, where people interview men and women at, you know, at an advanced age, like in their 90s, and the question is always, what do you wish you did more? And I have never had anyone answer and say, I wish I worked more. Now, for men, yeah, it's true. They always say, I wish I spent more time with my family, with my kids. So, you know, at the end of our lives, it seems like this ambition doesn't really matter, you know? And I think what I'm trying to ask is, have you personally ever achieved something that you were really, really looking forward to? Achieved it, and then after that, you're like, oh, okay, you know? You still felt empty. Yes. But, you know, so this ambition thing that men we are chasing, what is it about?
Well, okay, let's go with your first point first. Have I done something where I've achieved something and the next minute I fell flat?
Yeah.
Yes. The answer to that is very much. So, I think a little bit of a journey. of my sort of life in the financial services industry. I started right at the bottom. My wage was £600 a month. You cannot survive on that in London. You can't. It's less than what most people get paid today.
Wow. Yeah.
So obviously every time I would say, oh, you know, I need to achieve this. So that's my next goal. You get to that goal and you're going, not as good as I thought it was going to be. I finally owned my own firm.
Yeah.
Regulated. Quite an achievement considering I had no external capital investment. I did it all by myself. Now that, to me, I felt, okay, I've gotten somewhere in life. Then the next stage was, okay, I need to get my license bigger than what I had. Went now. So as soon as I did that, what's the next thing I looked to do? I sold my business because I was bored. So answer was yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I think people will, men always have these high lofty targets, but the targets are not, I don't think they're driven by the right purpose. I think people need to have a think, men need to have a think about what's going to make them content. 2025, I became content.
Oh, please enlighten us.
Well,
what did you achieve in 2025?
So
Yeah.
I think, again, I know I see a few people laughing here, but 2025 became content purely because I actually got to a point where I said to myself, okay, things are actually working. I don't need to over-egg it. I need to get away for the weekend. And I did. I visited Laikipia for the first time in my life. I've never been to Laikipia. I saw the black leopard for the first time.
Nice.
I visited, so I've told a lot of people, my favorite place and the second favorite place, the first one's Diani. I'm from Mombasa originally, but Diani is my favorite place on the planet. Second favorite place is Nanyuki, for various reasons. And I've been here, I think 7 or 8 weeks now, and I've actually spent 5 weekends between Nanyuki and Diani. So,
that's nice.
The point is that understand what you want to do and what you're doing all this for. For me, it was to go and spend time enjoying things I could not afford. So I've got to that point now, and so I suppose to a certain extent it's just about you making sure that your goals are not too lofty, and when you get there, you're not looking for the next bigger thing. Yes, it's always good to keep pushing yourself, but not at the cost of you not enjoying life, and that's what I was doing.
Right, thank you so much. Mr. Omari, you're the gentleman that everyone runs to when they're in trouble. When we have issues, we run to Mr. Dunstan Omari. Who does Mr. Dunstan Omari run to? Do you have support structures? And I want you to speak about men having the right support structures around.
Well, the majority of men are doing very well in terms of career. That one, there's no big issue. You are fired here, you go look for another job elsewhere, your business collapses, you take another one. They are solution-based. There are 2 careers that men have generated recently that is bringing a problem to the men, this country and worldwide. 1, women were born to think about us. Anytime they are all over, they are monitoring where you are. As we have now become like them, we are also looking for where our girlfriends are, where are our wives. You are looking for investigators to monitor your wives. You are busy creating your wife as a company that you are running. That emotional trailing of your wife is not part of the genetic makeup of you. And that is why femicide, battery, wife beating, suicide is on the rise. We have created a new employer instead of seeing that person as a partner in love. That is one issue that has taken us back. Number two, we have taken a new concept of taking vices as an alternative to providing solutions to ourselves. Our sponsors, EABL, Kenya Breweries, came to this country around 1902. You will leave, go to wherever you'll go when you are dead, the brewery will remain. Diageo has been there for hundreds of years. So we have a new war we have created to fight, to drink. The mob justice of drinking. The mob justice of who takes more alcohol, who takes harder drugs. Those two issues is why we are here. How do you come out of your routine? Because as a lawyer, doing lawyering is a routine job. One, myself, every Friday and Saturday, I'm a serious dancer.
Nice. I will. Wow.
A lot of rumba music.
Okay.
A lot of live band performance. A lot of freeing myself. Sunday strictly, unless you are paying some 40 million as legal fees, I'll not listen to you. Then you have got to create the time for your family. And this concept, I wish the ladies were here. At one time I was a children's officer. All of you were children of your parents. You left those parents, the two of them alone. You got another one, either in Java or from this conference, and you are calling that person yours truly baby. You forgot the ones that wasted their energy, wasted their time for you. Now you have another person. What is the lifespan in marriage? The law was trying to say that you can, section 55, I don't know, section 55 of the Marriage Act, that you cannot marry today and divorce immediately. You must be in a marriage for 3 years. The Court of Appeal said that is an avenue for murder. Today you'll marry at 10 and at 11 you divorce. That is the reality that we are in. The reason is we have failed to accept that we have only one fight, the fight that brings financial support to yourself and to your family. We are creating sideshows, and those sideshows are taking a big toll on us. The only sideshow you need to create is recreation. How do you get time to rejuvenate your body? How do you sleep well? How do you physically practice? The concept of a gym, is a concept because we have failed to allocate time for us to even walk. You cannot walk because you are the boss. But you are not as rich as the Chinese, as my good brother, Daktari, has told you. When do you ever walk? When do you ever meditate about yourself? You have so much time watching football. Those guys are being paid. They are chasing a skin of a dead cow. They are making billions. You are here excited about them. You have not gone to generate income to take to your kid to go to school. So that question, you really have got to understand why men look at the mascot they have put there. That mascot is not beautiful. It is very ugly. And we are supposed to be ugly, but very beautiful kwa Kibeti at the pass. Sauti ya mwanamume ni wapi? Ni mfuko.
Kabisa.
Sauti ya mwanamume, I've seen nowadays a new sauti ya ndevu. People are carrying a forest of beards, but kwa mfuko they have nothing. Let us change the narrative. Let us change that narrative very viciously, or else I do a lot of defense of murder criminals. The matters coming out of domestic violence, leading to murder, leading to grievous bodily harm. If the judiciary was here to give you the data, it is alarming. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Gentlemen, you've heard, tukwe sura mbaya. We need to be ugly, but our wallets are, I love it. To wind us up, Nancy, because now I just want to get a few questions from the audience as well. I'm going to ask you two-part question, Nancy, as you wrap this up for us. And the first one is, you know, for me and my boys around, the men around, what are some of the subtle signs that we need to start looking out for in men? Like, you know, this gentleman is starting to crumble. This gentleman is starting to lose it. What are some of the signs we need to be looking out for in men? And then, what truly helps a man heal? And not motivational speak. Like, what truly helps a man heal?
Thanks. Allow me first to react to something Mr. Omari has said around.
Of course.
Men are doing very well. Men, you're doing very well. On which aspects? Ndevu.
Hapo kwa ndevu.
On your physical, emotional, spiritual, where are you at? Financially? Financially? Up? Emotionally? Okay, I don't know. But one of the things, and the statistics are showing that the levels of stress are also very high because of the economic situation. And I have also seen as much as men are supposed to be forward thinkers, when a business falls, another one, you got to get another one because the family has to keep running. There is a high level I've seen, especially because of the recent downsizing, redundancies, market exits, where men are losing their identity because your identity and the job were one and the same. So there's the identity confusion because who am I without a job? Now, when that job is no longer with you, before you process it, the first thing you're not even sure whether to let your family know what you're going through. So you're struggling with this because one of the things we've talked about is how we are socially oriented is a stoicism for a man is a way to go. We do not express our emotions because at that point it will look dramatic, we look like we are not holding ourselves together. So one of the things that you need to be aware that the people who you sometimes think they're doing very well, they're probably not. And that is what will bring me to the question that I have also been asked. Shah talked about how he has found time to visit places he would never have done. But the question is, are we also finding pleasure, even as we work, to do small things that can keep us afloat? Because you've said about balance, and balance, what gives me balance does not necessarily give the other person balance, because you need to look at our family dynamics, because maybe where Shah is in his life is not where my family. I could be starting, you could be in the middle, you could have a sick parent that you're still taking care of. Your balance has to be very different, and you have to think about it. But the problem, you're also running after what our friends are doing. So keeping up with the Joneses is also a problem. So we want to do what they are doing, but we are struggling in the pocket. So we need also to have a conversation with ourselves. Where am I at and whose race am I running? And that way you're able to have your balance specific to your situation. So if you're struggling, where is your safe space? And he talked about sleeping. Now, there's some sense of sleep that also looks like a problem. And where all of a sudden somebody who was enjoying doing things with people is withdrawing, doesn't want to leave the room, is not talking, is not engaging with anyone, start asking what that person is going through. Sometimes the struggles men go through is in humor. You see somebody who is always laughing because they are hiding the pain. And then when things happen, when they analyze themselves, what do we say? We didn't see it.
Coming.
We didn't see it. So sometimes also know who are the people around you and when their behavior starts to change. So when do you know that a man is going down? Emotional withdrawal.
Okay.
So things they were doing before, they are no longer doing. Not because they are getting lazy, because they do not have the words to express what they are going through. You who is their neighbor, when you're telling them to man up, they're actually trying to find how does man up look like. Or maybe probably they need is you to sit and listen and say nothing. That is why I asked, where are the safe spaces? You could be the only safe space. Safe space, I'm not saying come for therapy, as much as it's an option. You as a man, where your support system? Does your family understand you in a way to say, by the way, your silence is not normal? Then maybe you need to speak to someone. Emotional shutdown. Number 2, the hero syndrome. The people who overwork as a way to hide what they are going through. So their deadlines become their distraction, their busyness become their anesthesia, and before you realize it, the person is actually drowning. Because we think overworking is going to take care of the things we are not processing, the things we are not addressing. So we are having relationship draining us, but where are we taking that problem? Drowning it. Tomorrow morning when you wake up after drowning yourself, the problem is still there. So we need to also learn how to address the problems before they become major. The last part I would say, usually what happens is anger. You know, someone who is getting irritated with the small things. You know, it's like hitting a cat for no reason. It's yelling at your child for no reason. It is your wife wondering by then imekufanya, because whatever small little things rattles you. So the moment and you can tell, inside you, you can tell there is a struggle within yourself. So unusually the challenge is, do you know where you need to go? Get a support system. Talk to somebody. Go for therapy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bona MC, you're going to help me? Maybe we can get 2 or 3 questions from the audience. If you get the mic, please let us know who you're directing the question to. Yeah. Oh, there's another mic here.
All right, so we'll take 1, 2. This panel was on fire, all right? So we can take 1, 2. We want to take like 3 questions at the same time, just to save on time.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay. Who's the first gentleman? Just introduce yourself and then you can throw in your question. If it's to the entire panel or to a particular panelist.
Let it be to one panelist so that
Yes.
we save on time.
We save on time.
Yeah.
Okay. To one panelist.
Okay, thank you. My name is Evan, and my question is, since we are having a discussion about the cost of the hustle, I tend to believe that as men, we also need to not always fully rely on the 8 to 5 job and find some other source of investment. So my question is, how do you go about getting into the corporate space, especially when dealing with startups? And I would like Mr. Kalin Shah to answer that question for me.
Thank you. Second question was the gentleman in orange.
Fred is my name. Yeah, there's been this tussle between what the older generation view as ideal of a man, and we have the younger generation, maybe including the Gen Z, of what constitutes what it means to be a man. And we see this challenge also being there in the workplace. or other spheres, maybe also in the family setup, because the younger generation might think that the older generation are not getting it. The older generation also think the younger generation have just their own view. So my question, probably it's to Nancy or whoever will take it up, is it an issue? Is it a shifting issue? Is it an issue, a generational issue? Or is it a standard? Is it an ideal that you can say this is what constitutes a man? Or is it something that will shift with time? Thank you.
Right, thank you. Nancy, you'll take that. Okay.
Right. Take the very final question.
Yeah.
My name is David. First, I want to acknowledge the wealth of experience from our panelists, and I'll keep it very brief. So there are some of us here, some men who they know their purpose, they know exactly what they need to do, they are on the path, and they are building to that ideal goal. And my question is directed to Mr. Killan. What
Just for the other delegates, just kindly bear with us. In the interest of time, we'll just have to proceed. Thanks.
Okay, Bhavesh will take the first question.
Okay, so just coming on the first question. Looking at today's opportunities that you have out there, 20 years ago, we did not have access to the internet or access to opportunities as we do have today. And as much as most of us would be having a 8 to 5 job, but from 5 to onwards, we have so much access to opportunities in terms of creating our own startup, working with other colleagues on startup, and hooking up with different teams that are working across the world, and being a part of that team to either become an extra income earner or also find yourself into an opportunity. And I think Killan can probably just all add up to that as well.
I think I'll answer both questions, because I think one is how, for a young person to get through to where we are now. I will say to you, fortunately, you are very lucky compared to most of us who've started off 20, 25, 30 years ago. You've got more access than we do. I think it's very important that you understand that don't go and try, okay, obviously you want to become James Mwangi, for example, right? That's everyone's dream, right? But everyone knows where he started off. Everyone's probably read enough about him. The point is that he didn't have what you guys have. You've got access outside Kenya. You've got access to money outside Kenya, which none of us did. Not one of us did. To go to any NGO or to go to a foreign bank was impossible. But you have those accesses today. As long as your idea is good, and I've heard of one today, with my friend discussed one today, you've got more potential of getting investors to come and invest in your product or your idea. So what I would suggest you do is whatever your thoughts are in terms of where you want to go, whatever your business plan is, so on and so forth, ChatGPT is your friend. We didn't have ChatGPT. We had to write the damn thing ourselves. That's one of your instances. But the second thing is that make sure you stand out. Your idea stands out from the rest. You do have a lot of Kenyan funds that are investing in Kenya. You need to research, find out who that is. So I think I got a question from there regarding how do you get into the corporate space. Start with the Kenyan funds. You have no idea the amount of money that is getting pumped into Kenya to invest in Kenya. So I would suggest thing. There are at least 15 funds that I know of that invest in tech in Kenya. Okay, and this is again, some of it's foreign money, some of it's local money, but they're funds that are based in Kenya. Start with that. Once you exhaust that, then you can start looking at people or ideas outside the country. By the way, Africa Focus Funds, Avocap's got one, if I'm not mistaken, right? So Avocap invests in securities within Africa. There are guys that I know of right now investing in private equity, which is what you would be, in Africa. And the countries they normally tend to look at is Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, usually. We live, as Daktari said, I think he used an analogy of Kenya and Ecuador, I think it was. We live on a gold mine. We have very educated people here. We have got a lot of influx of foreign expertise that comes into this country before it dissipates into the rest of Africa. So do not get disheartened. I would just say utilize Google to the maximum, figure out who these funds are, and ask requests for meetings. Do not get disappointed. Believe you me, none of us would be here if we got disappointed after the first rejection. I think one of my business partners is somewhere around here. I think he took 28 rejections before we got investment into coming into Kenya. 28 meetings. I've been to at least 24 of them. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Nancy, you had a question? There was a question for you, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. To answer to that question, I want to speak to every brother, every dad, every uncle in this room. And when he talks about the shift that is happening, the question is, what are our value systems? What are we passing us into the generations? If you're a dad, how much time do you spend with your children? How much present are you? Are you your house girls, the ones who are passing the value systems to your children? So who are we going to blame when we say things are changing, and they're changing in which direction? So dads, we have a role. Brothers, we have a role. Uncles, we had a bigger role before and until now. So the change will keep, the world has become a global village, and now we are aping even what other cultures are doing without even understanding what they stand for. What we need to guard selfishly is our value system. Do you understand your own value system? Was it passed to you? If you didn't like it, can you polish it to something that you're proud to see in your children, so that we stop saying Generation X and Y, Z? We are the parents of those generations, right?
Yes.
Aren't we the ones? We don't want to bring them the way we were brought up. And when we are doing that, what are we losing? What are we giving them? And then when they become troublesome or unstable, because some of the instability is because we did not give them the tools to be able to do the things they need to do. And that's what we are saying. As much as we are saying, let's man up, let's have resilience, we still can't do that if we don't give them the spaces to be able to find which we didn't ground them in. So it starts at home. You, dad, what are you doing? Who is passing the value system? And that is the only way we can have a generation that we want to be proud of in our own culture. Otherwise, the global village, because half the time, maybe there's someone who's been scrolling all the entire time we were here. Those are the small habits we have created. They may look minor, but in the house, how many times are we having conversations?
Zero.
When we get to the house, we say, hi, how was your day? As shallow as that.
That is true. Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you so much to my panelists. I want to wrap this up. Mr. Dunstan Omari, asante sana. That was an amazing conversation. Mr. Kilan Shah, Mr. Bhavesh, Ms. Nancy Kihara, thank you so much. And Avocap Asset Managers, thank you for this. They say a man is made a man amongst men. And thank you for facilitating this, because you're starting to hone a generation of well-groomed men. So Monica and Wilson and the entire team at Avocap, asanteni sana. Mr. MC, over to you.
All right, fantastic. Let's appreciate Field Director and the entire panel with a warm round of applause. I'll just ask the panel to rise to their feet. We have a token of appreciation on behalf of the team. I'd like to call forward Priyanka Shah, who is the COO at Avocap Asset Managers, to be able to do us the honors of presenting a token of appreciation to the panel. Do we ask the panelists just to remain on stage for group photos as they receive the gifts? Thank you very much. All right, so we make sure that we can be able to get this photo. Lovely smiles as we look at the media team. And gentlemen, let's appreciate this panel with a warm round of applause. Media team, give me a thumbs up once you're good. Once you've captured that particular moment, give me a thumbs up so that now we can be able to proceed. All right. Thumbs up, are we good? Or just hold it, please. Just hold it. We just keep on gifting and keep on gifting. All right. It's just an expression of love. It's what we do as men. We are givers. All right. So we keep giving. It's what we do. All right, just one more photo so that we can be able to make sure that now we are, we want people on the socials to see how generous we are to our panelists. Media team, please give me a thumbs up once we are good with that. Lovely smiles to the panel. Makofi tafadhali one more time. Is it a video? Give me a thumbs up once we have the photo. Thank you very much. All right, thank you to our panelists. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you very much. And I believe to the panel, there is no power distance. We had quite a number of questions. If there's one of the gentlemen who would like to come and approach you for any question, would you be okay? All right, fantastic. So to the ones who still had a pending question, we can be able to come and ask it. Thank you very much. Asante sana, panelist and also field director. All right, so we just want also to notify you that our hospitality team is going round to make sure that we can be able to get our drinks. So we don't have to converge over there. They're trying their best to make